Hello. Somebody in right away. Happy days. Let me say hello. Sound check. Hey, Foxy lad. How are you, man? Sound all good? Happy days. So I like to hear. We'll just give us a wee brief minute here just to let more people come in. Well, it's 11 o'clock and some people might be in bed. Ready to tune in, let's see. That's it there. No surrender. Evening, sweet chicks. How are yous? Hey, Ian. Thank you. All good. Don't need my megaphone then. Right, so a lot of you have seen the thing going on. Yeah, Dubs. Yeah, Collie that. Elizabeth. A lot of you have seen, probably mostly over social media, this thing floating about called Operation Shutdown. Now, the idea of it was, hello, Icon, bro. Hello, lady. Hello, Foxy. Already said hello, Foxy. There's twice. The Operation Shutdown isn't meant in generally like to shut the system down. I don't really think that's feasible right now. At the minute, if higher numbers are growing and accumulating, you need to get much more. I need it. Touch. Yeah, all good. Family's in bed, so I'm able to do my wee live now and have a chat with you. Sort of want to run over a bit of Operation Shutdown and just some other wee things like say WEF and Fabian Society, just a bit more information on them as we go. So again, Operation Shutdown. You go and look at the definition of shutdown. It's like the closure of a business, some kind of way, or the shutting down of a system. Realistically, if we wanted to shut down a system, it would have to be taken to, let's just say, one business, for example. Rather than trying to shut down the whole country, that is impossible at the minute. I'm kind of hoping that, I put a date out there and I just threw out locations into it and left it down to you, the people, to get into gear, get into action and start doing your thing, as you all do naturally now. As let's face it, we've been on 3 months here protesting every week, every other day here, Belfast and around the outskirts of Belfast. So I think it's now time to step it up a gear. Now, the thing about the protests and all the different locations is that some people think it's all about going on the road, shutting things down. That's going to shut everything down. But some people have learned that it kind of infuriates and upsets people and deters people from coming out to the peaceful protests. As a means and methods of keeping them peaceful, it means it peaceful all across the board to your own local communities also. So for me, the way to encourage people to come out and join is to grow your numbers and strengthen your community in an all effort is to do things in a real peaceful way where there's no agitation caused to local people, traffic, To shut the system down, it's going to take a lot more, folks. It's going to take more than just protesting on the streets peacefully. It's going to take people to start, let's just say, stop paying the beast, stop fueling the beast system. If your taxes, it's your taxes that are funding all these illegal immigrants coming here, and sure, the cost probably rocket up to 500 million from its first projected 100 million when they spoke about this project in Stormont. Good to see you're all chatting to HR. What about me? Nobody chatting to me. Yeah, so anyway, so the idea of the protest going out all these different locations, I was hoping that some people will come and sort of rectify the locations, and some people have. It's good to see, because These things have to all be done in synchronization, and if they're done peacefully, like I say, it's going to bring people out to join and strengthen the numbers. Okay, White Lane protest, perfectly fine. I was up and attended the Ainsworth Avenue protest, and where they staged another White Lane peaceful protest. And what I seen was the locals driving by. Some get stopped at the lights, and they were having conversations with the people. One girl actually stopped and explained to me, she'd noticed down the bottom of the Shankill facing KFC that there was like 3 police cars had arrested some foreign national. They were trying to arrest some foreign national in the lower Shankill area. So if anybody has any information on that, feel free jumping in the comments there. So the many different locations, there's one in Carrickfergus, it's CCSP, is the wee page on Facebook there to get information on that. Moving down, there was one mentioned for, I think that was the Clockfern roundabout one, maybe was it? Also Ballyduff New Mosley roundabout. Moving down to Shore Road, one in the Shankill Ainsworth, kind of hoping that we could have pulled Carlisle Circus, but there was a bit of agitation, and the last one was arranged for the Carlisle Circus one, so just keeping it in the non-confrontational, contentious areas for now. I've also mentioned one, there's one on the 20th as well down in Ballymena. I'll get that soon, Elaine. That's what I was going to explain to people here. So it also mentioned in that flyer that there was one in Newtownards. Now, many people have contacted me from Newtownards, and from what I'm hearing, a location is being set for a peaceful protest at, I don't know the name of the roundabouts, but those from Newtownards will know. It's as you come to the end of the town, and there's the double roundabouts. You go into 2 roundabouts, and then you make your way up towards Malay or Ray Graham Builders Merchants, is on the word is. From what I'm hearing, there's going to be a peaceful gathering there with their placards, basically showing all traffic passing by. The other locations will have up their own setup. Lena's Car Park Thursday night, Elaine. Lena's Car Park's joining in Ballymena, folks. There you go, 7 p.m. Lena's Car Park. Yeah, start working, stop paying taxes, join East Belfast First Division. What? Find your neck and super patcher. That's probably a fake account, so let's just go straight in and block him. Just straight in. Head user from channel. Bye-bye. It's all right, Lady J. It's gone. Listen, folks, I mean, this is the way I set myself up is these trolls, okay, that want to come in with their fake accounts, fake setups. I just look at them as illegal aliens because they're not identifying themselves. They're probably fucking undocumented, but you have to remember that some of these people do have technical capabilities on a phone with smartphones and are able to set up fake accounts, and some of them can speak decent English, so no doubt they could probably spell it out too. So the possibility some of these trolls possibly illegal aliens, setting up, coming in and trying to divide people around different areas, and I've seen a lot of them are attacking the ones in East Belfast. Maybe that's because East Belfast had started out the patrolling of the streets, and it started getting it out there. Yeah. Just when I'm sitting near me on a can't do moderation, I can't kick them out and block them myself. So again there, on Thursday, Lena's Car Park, and Elaine, is there one on the 20th as well in Ballymena? Was right, was Laura that's saying one? Yeah, plenty of them are trolls. Plenty of them, Lady J. But like I say, there's no point wasting time. I don't waste time with them. I just keep getting on and moving on with what I'm doing. This is again back to the sort of operation shutdown. Listen, every area is up to their own choice, whether they want to block roads or how they want to do things. I personally, if it's going to be peaceful White Lane protests, building numbers up, gets the community behind us. To me, it's a win-win situation, So I believe that way going forward, and I've always said that's the peaceful way forward. Saturday. Anyone in the chat, please support. Yeah. So what time's that one on Saturday? Sorry, Dubs. No, Ted's get somebody to reach out from me from the Braniel to see what's happening. I mean, I'm sure if it was feasible, the Braniel could sort of maybe team up with the ones in Clarewood there. Yeah, well, the WEF as well. I have to remember it's the WEF that's got their hands in every pie all around this earth, and they're the ones doing the damage. World Economic Forum. There's a site there you can go on to search for the World Economic Forum. I'll bring it up, and you'll have on it what is it, agenda. You'll have publications. You have their mission that they have statements of, careers, strategic intelligence partners, and the legs. But I just want to sort of go and see if we can bring up the agenda here, see what it says. See if we can get this something here. AI and the industry, the future of industry. Now, I haven't able to set this up so I can show you the page yet. Public dashboard, no, settings, channel level settings, feedback. Share screen. So I'm going to see if I can share the screen with you here, folks. Bear with me a wee second. Forum stories. Yeah, that's the one. Let's see if we can do this. Right, so I'm going to share this page. It's on the World Economic Forum page, and it's basically about their agendas and stuff. So we can all look at this together, basically see what it is. I hope this turns out all right. Right. So there we go. You can all see that okay? Hang on, I need to close that wee one there. So you can see my screen. So with two of them pages up, I need to get one. Close that. Right, there we go. So it's worked all right. We've got the camera and we've got this screen up that I want to scroll down and I just have a look at. So this is basically in the agenda section of the WEF, as you can see here, the World Economic Forum. Right. And the first thing that pops up under their agendas is, I'm going to have to go into that big screen. You can still see my face anyway. So as you can see, physical AI powering the new age, folks. Look at that, the new age industrial operations. Industrial operations are at a pivotal moment shaped by rising complexity and workforce shortages and further amplified by global uncertainties. This white paper explores how advances in industrial robotics are redefining automation and creating new opportunities for resilience and growth. Now, I'll take us back there, as you can see, this wee bit here, this white paper. Where have I heard that phrase white paper before? If you remember on one of my videos I put up there, a white paper report on Keir Starmer, and he gave a white paper report. He was talking about how this whole how this whole open border thing was just a test, and it was basically a test on nations that wanted to be controlled or governed by corruption, so to speak. So yeah, then we go again there. So this white paper explores how advances in industrial robotics now. Robotics, what are all the robotics about? How are these robotics going to work? You've all seen robotics. You've all seen what they're, the dogs running about. Some of these dogs have been put in movies and have guns and attached to them and stuff, and how they're going to control them. And you maybe want to look into how the monopoles work and why all these cell towers are getting put up everywhere. So just some of the different topics there. Understanding China's approach to AI. Well, sure, China's been using AI. They're sort of at the head of technology. I don't know. On the left here, you can see physical AI is changing manufacturing. Here's what the era of intelligent robotics looks like. So, I mean, over the years, what we've seen is a lot of progress in the building of robots. I mean, robots have been building cars, making cars, but lately we've started seeing robots that are doing a tradesman's job, like plastering walls, those kind of techniques, building walls, brick walls, plastering walls. And this is by no means the shutting down of us, the shutting down of our people and our work. If they're going to get robots to do the jobs, what are they going to do with us? Unionised protest the 18th of September. 7 p.m. Carrick roundabout. Happy days. That's it. Let's just start getting the things in here. Yeah. Keep fighting the good fight. Slurp that tea. Thank you, John. Thank you. Starting at 12:30, walking from Wakehurst to Bondstone and centre of town. So there you go, folks. That's one in Ballymena on the 20th. The 20th being a Saturday at 12:30, walking from Wakehurst to the Bondstone and centre of town. So anyone that can make that one on Saturday, especially after all the numbers that I want to see building up all around this great province of Ulster as we're going forward. So it's basically just a wee bit of that's some agendas there. I'll just let you see the headlines. I'm not really going to click into anything and drag the video out that way. As I was saying earlier, how human roles are shifting in the age of robotics. So they don't need anybody to build these cars, to build this machinery. They're just going to have robots that does it all. What's that mean for us? Well, if they have robots to do all this, well, they don't need us then, do they? Prince Charles has come out and says that the world's overpopulated. The Globalist, WEF, they all come out and say that the world's overpopulated. Bill Gates is talking about how if they can control the population and decrease the population through their control, and let's remember, folks, the white folks aren't breeding enough to repopulate, while other folks are breeding like 3.4, 4.5 children per family. And we're just not breeding enough. Maybe a baby boom is in the need here. We need to get start getting your babies going again. Bad incident out the back of my mom's, but 2 minutes away from two primary schools, half an hour before home time. And no AP stopped off on these said characters. Where was that, John? Don't start me, Raymond. Yes, Antarctica. Yeah, no, but listen, it's just a two-tiered system, isn't it? There's so much on YouTube, it's hard to watch everyone. Well, there is that many YouTubers about. I know that, but I haven't really used YouTube. I'm just sort of trying to get back into it now. As I say, this new laptop that I bought like 3 months ago. And now that I know how to share the screen, I'm able to explain things and show things to you a bit better, as doing here in this World Economic Forum. So these are videos. Maybe I can play these videos, folks. Let me know if you hear the sound in these videos when I play them. Can you hear the sound of the video okay? It's all written out anyway. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. Sort of helps us move forward if we want to play clips and videos and stuff like that in the future. CSB the hustle. Screens and right? Maintenance teams are moving from reactively fixing breakdowns to using predictive diagnostics and robot-enabled automation to certain maintenance tasks. Meanwhile, engineers are shifting from maintaining automated systems to optimizing all AI-driven robotic solutions that can happen themselves. You hear that? So it's actually saying that happen themselves. You see, I want to close that page, and I actually dragged it out of my taskbar, so need to change it around, but I can go back and get the other page up. That's where we are. So let me see. Let's get a page going here. So it's back in there. There we go. So we're back on second page. So that was the one on how human roles are shifting. So I want to sort of try and stay with us here with these videos. There is a bit of reading in them. They're just short videos. Some of them will be speaking. But I want to see the ones bridging AI's woeful data gap can save lives and tackle climate. We're not going to talk about the climate change. Women face a higher risk, a job risk from AI. These are all things that, agendas. Now remember, these are agendas from the WEF. You can see up here, World Economic Forum. Let's see, let's find a different page. Let's get a bit of Wikipedia on them and see. You can all see that okay? Yeah, so let's have a bit of a read down in Wikipedia. The World Economic Forum, WEF, is an international advocacy, non-governmental organization, NGO organization, and think tank based in Cologne, canton of Geneva, Switzerland. It was founded on the 24th January 1971 by German engineer Klaus Schwab. Yeah, I think it might have been. You see, it says that it was founded, so no doubt it's been going on for a few years before that. And Klaus Schwab has now stood down. I think there were some dodgy emails he was seeing, message in a miner, or something along those lines. The foundation's stated mission is improving the state of the world by engaging business, political, academic, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. So, and other leaders of society, it's other societies, like they're well embedded in here, Ulster, of our politicians in Northern Ireland. The foundation is mostly funded by its 1,000 member multinational companies, Multinational Corporation, MNC, also called a multinational enterprise, transnational enterprise, transnational corporation, international corporation, or stateless corporation, is a corporate organization that owns and controls the production of goods or services in its area. That's it. The WEF is mostly known for its annual meeting at the end of January in Davos. You know what Davos is? Davos is an alpine resort town and municipality in the Pratica, Davos region, in the canton of the Gießen, Switzerland. So everything's going back to Switzerland here. It has a permanent population of 10,832. That was in 2020. Davos is located in the river Langwasser in the Rhaetian Alps. A mountain resort in the canton of Graubünden in the Eastern Alps region of Switzerland. The meeting brings together some 3,000 paying members, stakeholders, I would call them. Stakeholders and selected participants, among whom are investors, business leaders, political leaders. Again, investors, political leaders, all stakeholders. They all have stakeholders in this massive organization known as the WEF. Celebrities and journalists also, for up to 5 days to discuss global issues across 500 sessions. So this is the meeting that they'll have at the end of January. Aside from Davos, the organization convenes regional conferences. It produces a series of reports, engages its members in sector-specific initiatives, and provides a platform for leaders from selected stakeholder groups to collaborate on projects and initiatives. And just flick back into me a minute now. The thing about the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab, the incident that happened, from what I remember reading up about Klaus Schwab and why he stood down, is because someone done a report. There was a bit of a report done on Klaus Schwab. He was the man that was putting out reports on some of these third world countries, like, let's say, Africa, Pakistan, Gaza. So these three countries he would have been doing reports on to say, let's say, how assimilation abilities for other nations, other countries would be, and it was said that he doctored those reports to make it look like these countries were all on the level with first world countries. And that's basically what sort of helped persuade our politicians, maybe a few quid in the back pocket too, along with that. But yeah, just hey, yeah, I see them anyway. That's basically, listen, folks, is that the World Economic Forum is just a base of, it's a bunch of idiots. All these bunch of idiots that are bullied in school and never really had any popularity in school and might have got themselves into these positions where they just want to demonize all humans. No doubt depopulate the earth. The World Economic Forum on its annual meeting in Davos have received criticism over the years, including allegations of the organization's corporate capture of global and democratic institutions, institutional whitewashing initiatives, the public cost of security, the organization's tax-exempt status. Right? So these people are getting funded left, right, and centre as they're a non-governmental organisation, apparently, and have a tax-exempt status. I think maybe we should all have a tax-exempt status too. Unclear decision processes and membership criteria, a lack of financial transparency on the environmental footprint of its annual meetings. Right, so that's just a bit of a rundown on the WEF. Let's see if we can. Well, that's what they say, sort of step down, but they say step down, obviously some dodgy information coming out about him, but the problem about it is he's done the job. You know, he's sort of there and around from the start. Maybe he's sick, maybe he's down, who knows? God works in mysterious ways and all that. To finish my tea, so let's see, let's get us up to date here. I got to say it, but we need people like you who are educated and well-spoken speaking for us. Billy King, we all make mistakes, mate. You know, if you were watching it, listen, I've been doing videos for 10 years and talking on the screen with my ugly mug in it for 10 years plus. You know, and there was a couple of times where I had a couple of drinks. Now, I don't drink now. I haven't drank in 4 years. I don't take drugs. Smoke here and there. Everybody makes mistake, Polly, you know, and like I say, I spoke to Freedom Dad and he knows it's down to him, you know, to rectify that with the people. You know, Freedom Dad's not a bad guy. So he's not. I mean, what can I say about what I do when I speak on the screen? Yeah, I can speak fluently and just keep talking and keep the people fixated on what I'm saying, how I say it and what I do. But what comes with that is error and mistakes. And it is quite easy to just throw another word in there, say something out of context, but trying to mean another thing, being metaphorical about something and trying to give it different meaning, like, you know, cryptic kind of thing. Not everybody gets that kind of thing. And what happens, some people will latch on to, let's just say, some weaknesses that some people have when they're becoming in the public eye. You know, a lot of slander, a lot of ridicule has been going on for the last few weeks, and it's not nice. It's not nice for anybody. And I mean, for someone who'd been ridiculed starting 10 years ago by people that I socialise with and who would call me friends for what I talk about the NWO, you know, Agenda 21, 2030, when I was talking about this global takeover, martial law, and what was to come, economic breakdown, collapse, you know, digital currencies, biomedical IDs, you know, it's a lot to keep up with, Billy, you know what I mean? And saying, yeah, the advance, you know, how to conduct yourself. I grew up in the state and for any years, and like, you know, that's exactly what the left. But listen, Freedom Dad's still a work in the making. You know, he's still his own self in the making. Everybody makes mistakes, as I say, you know. And Freedom Dad, what he's doing for the right reasons, you know. It's his own child. It's like I do it for my own children. Man, we're doing it for everybody's children. He's trying to bring light with his citizen journalism, and I'm trying to bring light with who the perpetrators are here, like the World Economic Forum that I've got up on the screen here. Another one is now, let's see if I can sort of get this one on the screen now. Let's just have a look at this one. I'll close that. We're going to have a look at these chaps. search and the search. Yeah, let's have a look at chaps. Any of you know what this is? The Fabian Society. Yeah, I'm sure plenty of us will know what this is. Billy King, listen, all I can say to everybody is just bear with freedom, Dad. You know, it's hard. He was on the go as much as I was on the go, mate. You know, when you're trying to cover all the areas and all the aspects of people's thoughts and concerns, it's tiring. It gets very dreary, and sometimes you feel like giving up. And Freedom Dad stuck to his guns, and he's still doing what he's doing. And big respect to him, you know. No, no Bally, there's no division. I mean, I was told Freedom Dad that I've got his back, and I know we're all capable of error and making mistakes. Raymond, on it. Yeah, it's one of those darker moments. Yeah, listen, everybody that watches this, just bear with Freedom Dad. He's a good man, so he is. He's a good man. He knows what he wants to get out of what he's trying to do. He knows what he wants to achieve, as do I. And that's why I keep putting my face to the protests everywhere, the peaceful protests, because we're well within our rights to do this. You know, it's just when things kick off, I disassociate, you know, if there's any trouble starts to happen at these protests. Because I ask all the people, it's down to you to keep your protests right. And one thing I will say on another note, for all those folks that are going to go out and do, let's say, white line protest, you need to get high vises. You need to get high orange vis vests, something along those lines, just to make sure that you're getting seen by traffic, because it is starting to get dark nights again. You know, sun's setting just before 8 o'clock there, and it's going to get sooner, 3% sooner every night as we carry on. Yeah, 40 pounds, Freedom Dad, CJ, Richard, listen, we're all cut from the same cloth. We may have different, let's say, vocabularies or messages to bring across, but we're all doing it the best we can. We're all doing it the best we can. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect by any means, but we all have our own sort of attributes and skills that we're all adding into what is going on here in Northern Ireland. Slurp. And you're running all over the place trying to get good content, you get burned out. 100%, 40 pounds, 100%. DJ CJ on the mic. Fabian civil servants in power. Well, that's it, JR. I mean, the Fabian Society, I think they were actually founded. I think I'd read somewhere they were founded and started up in 1884, 100 years before the date of George Orwell's 1984. I think George Orwell, being a bit of a lefty, he would have been siding with these sort of socialist commie kind of folks that like to take the grip off, let's say, MPs, politicians. Let's see, we'll one have a look. Where are we? Hold on, we'll go back. Let's see if we can get a wee video here. We can all watch together. And Robert put videos out. Sometimes wee videos give a better explanation of what I do. Oof, no attention span for that there one. Right, so yeah, we'll have a look at this one because I know. Let's have a look. Who were the founders? Who were the founders of Fabian Society? Let's just turn that volume down. Yeah, right. You know, it's on the wrong page. I need to change the page, folks. Give us a wee second. Obviously, because I'm clicking on a link from that video, I need to go on that video page so you see the video.
Who were the founders of the Fabian Society? Have you ever wondered who laid the groundwork for one of the most influential socialist movements in Britain? The Fabian Society, founded on January 1884 in London, is a key part of that story. It emerged from the Fellowship of the New Life, a group focused on social reform and ethical living. The founders were a mix of prominent thinkers and intellectuals who aimed to change society through gradual reform rather than revolution. Among the founding members were Sidney Webb, George Bernard Shaw, Graham Wallas, and Edward R. Pease. Each of these individuals brought unique perspectives and skills to the table. Thomas Davidson, a Scottish philosopher, is also recognized as a founder. The society later welcomed influential figures like Annie Besant and Beatrice Webb, who joined alongside her husband, Sidney Webb. The name Fabian comes from the Roman general Quintus Fabius Maximus Verrucassus, known for his strategy of gradual warfare against Hannibal. This approach inspired the Fabians to advocate for social change through steady, incremental reforms instead of sudden upheaval. They believed in working within the existing political system to achieve their goals. The founders envisioned a democratic socialist state in Britain. They sought to influence public policy and political thought through intellectual debate and education. They rejected both the conservative status quo and the revolutionary tactics of Marxist socialism. Instead, they focused on achieving social justice through engagement and reform. The Fabians published influential texts like Fabian Essays in Socialism, which helped shape British socialist ideology. From a communist viewpoint, the Fabian Society represents a form of revisionism. They aimed for socialism through gradual reforms rather than through a proletarian revolution. While traditional communism emphasizes overthrowing capitalist systems, the Fabians believed in working within those systems to implement change. This approach has drawn criticism from orthodox communists, who argue that it dilutes revolutionary goals. However, the Fabian Society has played a significant role in developing socialist thought in Britain. They advocated for state intervention, social welfare, and economic reforms that align with some socialist principles, albeit through non-revolutionary means. The founders of the Fabian Society were instrumental in shaping a path for socialism that continues to influence political thought today.
There was none on it.
So in 1884, the Fabian Society was formed. A group of elite intellectuals who believed in gradual socialism and who, through their arrogance, advocated the philosophy of noblesse oblige. No revolution, just slow institutional takeover. Their influence shaped the Labour Party, founded in 1900 on a unionist and socialist platform. Of course, World War II became the perfect pretext to implement their plans. In 1942, the Beveridge Report paved the way for the welfare state. By 1948, the National Health Service was born.
30 years in the game. Right, so that's that one. So that's just to give you sort of a rough idea of the kind of people that pull strings. I'd say, without even talking about the Rothschilds, the J.P. Morgans, the Rockefellers, the Rossinis, that's without even talking about these, and these are just another group of dickheads that pull strings all over the place. The current head of the Bank of England is the current head of the Fabian Society. Yeah, it all runs deep, control of it all. But I don't think the Rothschilds are directly connected with that, are they, Billy? 100%. They don't hate it no more. What they're actually doing is just throwing it out there in their faces. I mean, all these non-punishments for child abusers, it's in your face. You know, people are getting sent to jail without even any evidence, or let's say witnesses being brought against them. They're being detained and it's dragged out. And you all know who I'm talking about, Pinky. Well, Forage is part of a corporation. If you can go and check it out, Reform is just another corporate organization for stakeholders. Probably Fabian too, being an ex-banker. I don't know, Farage is a strange one to try and connect him into any sort of a cult, but again, he came out of nowhere. Saying that, I never paid attention to him or reform over the years of any of that there, but let's sort of see. Let's see. We'll maybe dig in a wee bit deeper and see. There's a good 60 of you there anyway. Share the video out if you want to, folks, to get over people. And I'm going to do a wee bit of a rundown on the Great Reset and stuff. Now that I've got these videos working, and I'll see that you're all joining in with me, we'll start showing some videos of the darker industry. I was trying how to keep that Being a cigarette while listening. I know I'm sitting here, I've got the box set beside me, I want to roll myself, but we'll continue on anyway. So anyway, on to the next video. Let's go. I want to change this. Change the screen. And we're on the next video. And most of you look at that title there. You will know what that title is. And what we'll have here is we're going to have some videos. And again, these videos, better narrated than me just sitting talking to you, because I just tell you these are a bunch of satanic pedophiles that just want to basically take over every country. They're actually, it's a battle for your minds, spiritual warfare, a battle for our minds that we're all in here in this fight. And I just like to try and encourage people to strengthen their minds, strengthen their souls and their hearts, because that's where we need to fight this fight from. We can't be fighting this fight from the outside desires. This all has to come from within. You know, when we become God's chosen ones, that's when we win, and we need to back it up as we go. So I'm going to play this wee video here for you. Now, as most of you know, the Great Reset, and for those that don't, here's a bit of info. On this one, but the videos to come afterwards, there is talking, but I'm going to put it here. In here because we've got so many people. On to the next one.
What if I told you global elites are planning to reset the entire economy? It's called the Great Reset, and Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum says it's our only path forward. But here's the twist. Critics say it's a global conspiracy to control money, property, and even freedom. As countries push CBDCs and ESG policies, the tension grows. So is this economic progress, or the ultimate power grab hidden in plain sight?
You have something you want to show us?
Sure.
Here's Klaus Schwab.
Yeah. It's not just happening. The change can be shaped by us.
We have to prepare for a more angry world. How to prepare takes the necessary action to create a fairer world. I see the need for a great reset. So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen.
Some of the stuff he says, it sounds like out of a movie.
Yeah, the accent I think definitely helps with that. Too.
Even some of the stuff that he's saying.
I don't know. I didn't see anything particularly exciting.
You
honestly,
nothing. YOLO, nothing.
Exciting?
No.
Look,
nothing.
The thing about
reset.
Introduction: the worldwide crisis triggered by the coronavirus pandemic.
That video that just come on there, 5 hours and 42 minutes. You can see the title on the screen there. If you want to go and search that, so you can have a full listen to what this guy Klaus Schwab's thinking and mindset was. and his plans. Where were we? Joe was going to say to you. Where'd you go? Well, they're not exactly the same page. They're wee bits of tweaks. And here's the thing that I wanted to say. Let's get rid of that. Let's close it. Let's get back on so we can see this. I mean, the whole Unite the Kingdom thing, for me, what I see it as is we're uniting the kingdom, we're uniting God's kingdom, and that spreads all across Europe and the Western world that all still have the faith of God and Jesus in their hearts. And for me, that's what we're uniting here. That's the kingdom we're uniting. It's not a united kingdom we're uniting, in my personal opinion. We need to unite the kingdom of God. Discover where that kingdom comes from. The overall end game is just complete domination and control of us, putting us into like a dystopian kind of future where you can't fart without getting penalized for it. Yeah, most of the presidents are, Joe. You look into history, they're all connected. All the presidents. I think it was a 14-year-old discovered that the last 44 presidents, all of them, were related to monarchy. Yeah, well, listen, I believe that Pinky is being falsely detained or unlawfully detained. You know, I was in court to see exactly what evidence they were going to put against him, and I expected him to get bail. There was a couple of people that were up for abuse charges. One threatened to kill, got released before Pinky's case, and to see him get sent down, you know, it's not a nice place to be in. It takes a strong man. It takes you to have the capability to sit and go within and have a word with yourself, let's say. Not just yourself, but a word with your Most High, because that's the only company you have when you go into jail. It's trust nobody. The only one you can trust is God. Unite the kingdom is created by a minister to unite the kingdom of God. You go, farty pants. It's in my main view too. We're all on the same path here. We're all on the same mission, and that's one thing that we'll find here. This whole push, you know, let's look at it like this here. Northern Ireland, in particular, a good, strong, faithful nation under God, had lost its way. We had been succumbed to the impressions of social lives, alcohol, drug taking, partying lifestyles. We'd succumbed to, let's just say, the demonic world of those kind of activities. And someone's just tried to take advantage of it. I mean, the Good Friday Agreement, the WEF goes back to, it says 1971 there when it was founded, but no doubt it was years in the making, folks. It wasn't just came out. 1971 probably came about after Council of Foreign Relations. Keep changing their names, these big corporate outfits, to confuse the people, confuse the masses, to take their eye off the ball, let's say. Well, that's what I'm trying to work on, Stoner Games. I'm trying to work on every Houston. I'm not a solicitor, mate. I'm not a lawyer. What I would like everybody to do is sort of teach their own way through this, I'm going to say, administrative cage that we all live in. And we're all living in a box. This country, the country's a corporation. Northern Ireland's a corporation. Belfast City Council used to be called Belfast Corporation. European Management Forum was before the WEF. Was that it? Yeah, like I say. There you go, folks. European Management Forum was before the WEF. Yeah, Lady J. Like it's like I said, it says it was founded in 1971, but yet you can have a wee search and it says Jerry Adams with a date 1969 underneath it. I don't know. And it's on their site. It's on the WEF site. Actually, hold on. I'll go and have a look for it. Let's have a look, see if we can get it up here for you. Jerry Adams, WEF. Yeah, of go, folks. We're going to get it up here for you. We're going to all sit and have a look at this here. All sit and have a look. Check this out. Because I've been telling you about it for the last couple of weeks. So just here. Yeah, so it basically just gives a bit of information about him there. It says the president of Sinn Féin doesn't really correlate here with him becoming a member of WEF, but the dates all line up. So in the 1960s, worked as a bartender while becoming involved in the civil rights movement in 1972. Well, we checked the WEF there, Wikipedia. Let's go back and have a look at it. And I'll get it up there right place. So they're talking about the civil rights movement in 1972. And when we went to the Wikipedia for the World Economic Forum, it tells us it was founded 1971. There you go. Founded January 24th, on 24th January 1971 by German engineer Klaus Schwab. And Germans were one of the sort of leading pioneers of the EU also. So there you go. 1971. And on their page it shows, it's a wee bit slow getting this out, folks. On their page it talks about Jerry Adams and talks about the civil rights movement in 1972 and turned on the Maidstone, a British prison ship. Following this initial internment, a British prison ship. What happened to those prison ships? How come we're not putting all the illegal aliens on them now? Or on them prison ships now? And put some of them pedophiles on them too. Maybe stick some of the pedophiles in the hotels with the illegal aliens. Maybe a core combination. Yeah, so we're interned on the Maidstone, British prison ship. That's probably where he was schooled on what he was to do. For the WEF, that's it. Following this initial internment, he was released from prison to participate in peace talks with the British government. 1973-77, arrested again and held without trial. 1983, elected president of Sinn Féin, a member of the British Parliament. So in 1983, he became a member of the British Parliament. And some move for Republican, so to speak, hardline Republican, yeah. From West Belfast, refused to take his seat in Westminster, continued to campaign for Irish unity and the rights of Irish nationalists. So he refused to take a seat in Westminster, but he still took the British pound. Wasn't it the British pound was his wage being paid? Yeah. Continued to campaign for Irish unity and the rights of Irish nationalists. April 1993, along with John Hume, former SDLP leader, begins the Irish Peace Initiative, which led to the peace process and the Good Friday appeasement. It's allowed for this multicultural environment that we're now living in. Anyway, he also travelled to the US to meet with political leaders, including President Clinton and Bush. Yeah, they're two real good people, aren't they? Real lovely, nice people. Remember that video with Bush and his security man comes in, whispers in his ears, the plane's just hit the building, while the kids are talking and reading out what's up on the notice board that says something about metal burning. Member of the British Parliament and the Assembly in Belfast. Currently President Sinn Féin, the largest nationalist party in the north of Ireland. That's obviously because there's so many illegal aliens that are getting the right to vote and voting for him. Yeah, Northern Ireland member, PEN, the International Guild of Writers, author of several books, including A Pathway to Peace, The Politics of Irish Freedom, Selected Writings, Falls Memories, Cage 11, The Street and Other Stories, Before the Dawn, feature columnist on Irish politics, the Irish Voice, interest in Gaelic sports, GAA. Right, so that's close to shit bag. So I'm just going to have to go up page now. Yeah, so there you go. Jerry was never in the raw, but he might have plausible deniability for WEF too, so it doesn't exactly line him up. And then bring the late 1972, bloodiest year in our history. Yeah, Lady Jane, what was it, 5 bombs per day or something? It was sort of. Oh, it's not blank now, bro, is it? There's no fries on the boats. Still taste the British pound. I think he's taking the European euro now, Lady J. And I hope I've got his back there now anyway. Right, hold on. So you didn't see any of that with Jerry Adams and what was on the screen there? Right, hold on. Let's see if I can get it up again. Right, let me know what comes up this time. Right, can you see that? Or is that blank as well? Euros. Oh, he's on the Euros now, so he's down below, isn't he? As above, so below. He's down in hell now. Don't forget his book called I Knew What My Bro Was Doing. What do you call his bro? I call him Darka. No, his bro was a Darka, wasn't he? One of them ones. Yeah, so there you go. You can have a wee read at that there. I read it out to you anyway, but it was a blank screen, obviously. But there it is, just up. So 1972, bloodiest year in our history, as you said, Lady J. Yep, 5 bombs per day. I think it's sort of equated out at. But if you look, we're talking about participated in peace talks with the British government. 73, 77, arrested again and held without trial. Habeas corpus. Never used as habeas corpus. I'll ever see the blank screen now. I know, good point. I'll get that off for you now, actually. Good point. Just sort of highlighting, you know, it's his participation rate in dark, as I believe he's in the WEF. A lot of us blame the MI5, maybe. But other sources could maybe correlate back to the dates and times at the start of the foundation of the WEF in 1971 on provisional IRA starting in 1969. Jerry Adams, not so. Prescribed organization. What else do you want to look at, folks? What else can I show you? I've showed you the Fabian Society. That's just to give you a highlight what you can go in and look at as to who pulled strings. You know, when the Rothschilds, the JP Morgans, the Rockefellers that own basically own all the medical industry. They started up the medical industry and funded it, but it had to be run on their basis, their curriculum, basically. And all these pharmaceutical drugs that everybody's getting pumped with by their loving GPs, they're all petrochemical drugs, folks. 1972 was 11 years before born in 82. You're 2 years younger than me, Lady J. I will be 44 in 2 weeks. Yeah, so I believe there's definitely a connection back there, Lady J. Synagogue of Satan is who pulls the strings. Yeah, again, Jody asking Nazis. You know, you have to remember here there's good and bad on sort of every aspect. Every country's been flung into its own individual duality, yin, yang, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's not really chess that I get into. They used 2 years ago, but when you start to balance yourself out and even things, you have to be sort of centered so you can see that there's evil on both sides. And that's not, you know, that's not trying to deflect away from Hamas being a terrorist organization and no prescribed organization, so much to the point that some of their supporters and protesters and like the Palestine Action are actually getting prosecuted now for being part of just an organization that supports that kind of stuff. And yeah, Joe, let's not don't deny that the evil that comes from there. In the synagogue of Satan. That everybody has a right to believe whatever perception they see things and how they receive their information. You know, Some people don't have the ability to discern things, some information that they're bringing in. They don't have the capabilities to discern certain things. And some people that just get the left brain fed that just everything's real. You know, everything that goes in that left side programmable matter of the brain, left hemisphere, it just bungs it in there and they believe everything they're told. So there's no action that comes from the right side that allows them to use reasoning and thought and logic to discern truth from fiction. You definitely you got another 1980s TV, Raymond. If I look at you, see if you have high definition, it would look a lot older. Screen froze there. Darker. Darker never fucking fix my teeth. And so I don't trust the dentist, and I don't want to go into my mouth and work and use that anesthetic because I've seen a video there, I think it was done in Spain. They used a magnet on a syringe on a anesthetic that a dentist would use to numb your mouth or your gums and showed the graphene out. I'm like, fuck that. Rubber let my teeth fall out naturally. Yeah, it's a big ass that there. The AJ. Well, I wasn't born in 1980. I'm a Generation X child. 25. Cheers, Raymond. Big up. Right, so here we are. We've hit the midnight clock and the horse and cart's on its way to pick me. I'm just going to pick up my glass shoe here and make my way home. Where I am, in my box, in my cage. Good speaking to you all again, folks. Good to have some crack in the comments there, too. In case you're wondering why you aren't able to comment in the box for 60 seconds, it's to give me a chance to read through the comments so they're not just flying up the screen as they do in some people's live feeds. Darker. But yeah, so folks, we all need to come together. These different locations, Operation Shutdown, again, as I'll reiterate to you, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go and shut your local area down, because it's demonstratedly provable that not all the areas are going to be blocking roads. So I'm a big believer in peaceful protest and trying to bring more people on board by showing that you're not antagonizing your own local communities or your areas, but other people have different opinions. I get that, but I'm pushing it my way, the peaceful way, and I like to keep it that way. And that's why I like all my followers and supporters to stay on board and just keep track of what I'm trying to do here, because we're, there's a brave bit to go yet. So there is. I think there's a few buildings that need a few visits here to draw attention to our actions and bowing down to, let's just say, housing people not from here before our own people. Yeah, they would get that. Listen, these solicitors aren't really there to fight with your rights. It takes a real good one to use your rights in any kind of case, but it should be going upstairs. If it's going to go anywhere, it needs to go upstairs to a trial by jury. There's no point in just accepting that administration process in magistrates' courts by Mr. Keown. That was the name of the administrator. I think he got done. The judge, sorry. Either way, yeah, I'll have to wait the end of the video, but there's a lot of trolls out there, like I said, a lot of people using fake profiles to come out and try and slander everyone. I'm not really part of it. I am who I am. I have no past that's going to come up and bite me in the ass. No violence, no alcohol, no masks. That's exactly right, Lady J. I mean, I want people to stand proud and not be afraid to show who they are. And when things are done peacefully, there's no need for these cameras up to be taking images of us, because it's probably all for digital facial recognition, those cameras that are popping up. And I see they've started producing them at the eviction happenings going on around East Belfast now. It's 3 to see they've started bringing in the cameras. Well, he was due to come up for the other charges on the 6th of October. And that one that they brought up the charge of, I think it was don't remember the exact. Oh, I'll tell you now. I can actually read it out. No, I'm gonna go to bed. But anyway, that one that they're bringing him up for assault charge, I think it wasn't theft of a fucking sleeping bag. They've adjourned that till the 14th, so that adds an hour, 12 days for him probably being detained for that one to come through. But I think what they're going to do is just going to run these all now through a video cam. And the reason they probably adjourn is because they don't have any evidence or real substantial evidence that can incriminate. Okay. That's just my personal opinion. I'm no lawyer, I'm no solicitor. I just put my thoughts and opinions and perspectives out on how I see things. So yeah, that one was adjourned to the 14th of October, and his next one is for the 6th. I think they're going to try and run them, what's the term, consecutively, maybe. Different charges run different teams instead of running all the charges concurrently, which means if you had 9 different charges and got 2 months for one, 6 months for one, 3 months for another, but the highest one was 6 months, then he would do 6 months and that would cover all his charges that he would go in and be done for. But again, no victim, no crime, so we'll have to wait and see if any witnesses are going to come to the forte, stand up in the witness box. But I thought there should have been some maybe kind of, I don't know, line-up, identification line-up, no. No, Lady J is what I always sort of say to people. If anybody's going to act the fool, it's going to be me. Me that acts the fool. All right, Joe Nade. Good night. God bless, bro. God bless. You know, I know. We know. You're right. He should not be. He was just questioning some dark authorities around at McDonald's. That's the one, Davey. That's the one. My father always told me just always smile at people. It confuses them. You get more out of them. So yeah, folks, I'm going to end it there now. Anyway, it was good chatting. We've done an hour and 7 minutes. We ran on for near 2 hours last night. But what you have seen tonight, I'm now able to get the screens up when I'm doing live videos, and I'm able to show you more information rather than me stuttering here or there. I can just sort of give an outline and sort of, how can I say, metaphorical kind of explanations to things in my way of doing them. Yes. Good night. Good night to you all. God bless. Speak soon. Thursday the 18th. Operation Shutdown. It's only the first stages, folks. What I'm trying to do is build something here. Build our by trade. Build things from the mind. We need to keep going forward. I'll speak to you all soon. Good night. God bless again. Don't forget to say a wee prayer before bed in the name of Jesus and ask for the right things to happen for the benefit of all. No self-serving prayers. Good night.